What's up, fight fans? And we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin. Let me know you can hear me loud and clear. All right. We have a lot to talk about. I wasn't really going to go on tonight, but uh, there were a lot of things in boxing right now I needed to clear up and talk about and address. And one of the things is this Naoya Inoue situation and him being accused of cherry picking TJ Doheny for his next upcoming fight. So I want to break down the situation. How did we get here? How did we get here with Naoya Inoue facing TJ Doheny at 37 years old? Okay, so we're gonna break down that. We're gonna discuss more stories and topics in boxing. Shakur Stevenson is still on the thoughts of everybody's fight because uh, the WBC has ordered him to fight William Cepeda. What Oscar De La Hoya's mentality and his approach to his decision making on the Shakur Stevenson fight. So we're gonna break down those kinds of fights, topics, and I want you to let me know your opinions on them. What's up, Lionheart? How you doing, Kid Forever? How you doing? Thank you. Salute, guys. Please don't forget to hit that like button as you're joining into the live stream. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on that notification icon inside of your phone, as now that YouTube has changed their system, even though you set notifications for YouTube, it will not send you them from my channel unless you go into your inner settings and click it. That's what they're saying. So I'm just letting you know. What's up, Bud King? Most people don't just don't watch him back then or forget, but why he does this a lot is where fighters like Doheny. Okay, we're gonna talk about this Naoya Inoue situation right away. Okay, Naoya Inoue, right? Let's just right before we start, why don't we just we only speak facts here at Round One Sports Talk, so let's just have his record up. Just gonna bring up Naoya Inoue's record, which I believe I already know what it is. Yeah, he's 27-24. Yeah, he's 27-24 with a record of 27-24, and he's undefeated. He is 5'5". He is currently 31 years old, and he is a Japanese fighter. Among the Japanese fighters in the world, he is ranked number one. Among the fighters in the bantamweight division in the entire world, there are 1,337 registered fighters throughout the world. He is currently number one. And I want you to pay attention to those numbers because I'm going to go back and revisit them. Okay. So, how did we get here? Naoya Inoue secured all four belts at the 122-pound weight division by defeating Marlon Tapales, which he unified the last two remaining pieces of the titles. At that point in time, here comes Luis Pantera Nares, was the WBC number one ranked mandatory opponent for Naoya Inoue. And as we all know, as you collect these belts, it can become a bit confusing because the way it works is whichever belt you obtain first, and whoever's in line for their mandatories, you have to please them or vacate the title. For instance, if you had the belt, the WBC world title, sorry, if you had the WBC world title, you have one mandatory a year. Once you complete that mandatory, you're free to fight whoever you want. That's where you can get your money fights in, and you can get and so forth and so forth. Okay. So, hey, what's up, guys? So, that's how that goes, right? But when you have four belts, you have four mandatories. And that can become a pain in the ass because basically you only fight 3 times a year. How the hell are you going to fight four mandatories? Well, here this is how that works. If the mandatory is not bothering the sanctioning body, they're not demanding a fight or putting in the required paperwork to become the champion's mandatory, they really don't bother him. They ask them, they'll send them an email notifying, hey, you have an opportunity here. Shall you choose it? Okay. I said all of that to say this. Naoya Inoue put himself in a precarious situation because although these men are claiming they want to fight him, they don't want to fight him. They don't want this smoke. And as we can see, no sooner that he knocked out Luis Pantera Nare, Goodman hops in the ring and announces that he wants his shot. He's been the mandatory for two of the belts, the IBF and the WBO. Once he jumped in the ring and made a spectacle of it, and Naoya Inoue accepted the fight and told him, yes, I'll fight you, right? Let's talk about Sam Goodman right there. Let's just pause right there. Sam Goodman, if it wasn't for the fact that he jumped into that ring, how many people would know who Sam Goodman is, first of all? Unless you're like a deep, hardcore boxing fan, right? Second, right? He acts like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread and that his popularity is bigger than the I wouldn't even consider them like the top superstars in Australia, which is Tim Tszyu and George Camboza. I mean, they're probably the two top right now, but they're not even household names in Australia. So Sam Goodman is trying to act like he's bigger than them two, which in fact he's really not. Sam Goodman is a good boxer, right? But I gotta be honest, his level of competition is below minimum. I mean, his impressive wins was one against TJ Doheny, and the other one was against Ray Sean Sheen or whatever. He went out to Australia to fight him, and Sam Goodman pulled off a close decision out there. So Sam Goodman gets in the ring, and this is what I talk about: people almost blowing their opportunities against Naoya Inoue. And was this fight that Sam Goodman was taking that in actuality taking up a tune-up fight with a guy? Look, okay, hold on. Let's just back it up 1 second here. Just before he got in the ring with Naoya Inoue, Sam Goodman's last opponent was Mark Shield. What was his name? Mark she oh, that's what it is. It's this little my little backup sound. His name was Mark Shillings, right? And Mark Shillings, Sam Goodman's last fight in the ranking system, he was ranked 219. You heard that? Out of 1,375 Bantamweight fighters, this guy was ranked 219. Coming off of that win, of course, he knocked him out. Coming off of that win, he expects to fight the number one fighter in the world. Sam Goodman, this was his plan. His last opponent was ranked 219. Okay? These are the guys that they have for Naoya Inoue. This is all that's left. He's running through these dudes. He's on his fourth fight at the 122-pound weight division, right? And here we are. The reason why we're here is because when Sam Goodman pulled out and he just went into this last fight Wednesday night, that it is reported that in fact he did break his hand. If he broke his hand, how's he going to be ready for Naoya Inoue in November or December? That's going to be a way for them to pull him out. And these are the gimmicks behind the scene. What you see is him jumping in the ring, challenging Naoya Inoue. But what's he doing? He's fighting this other guy that wasn't on Naoya Inoue's skill level. You took a tune-up fight that the guy basically, within rounds, I saw Sam Goodman, he was breathing heavy and shit. This dude was over here chilling in his corner, right? And it wasn't like the step up and for that tune-up fight was going to better prepare him for a fight versus Naoya Inoue. What did that tune-up fight do for you as your legacy and your career, money-wise? And now you just broke your hand. It wasn't going to like make him a better fighter. So Naoya Inoue was out on the outskirts. At first, he thought he had his fighter, Sam Goodman. Now you're fucking with Naoya Inoue's schedule. He pulls out of the fight, claims to want a tune-up fight, and then enters TJ Doheny. How did TJ Doheny get here? You know why TJ Doheny's here? Just look at what's going on. Naoya Inoue's entire schedule opened up. Anybody could have requested that fight. No one, I mean no one, picked up the phone. No one wants to fight him. Agmadalia, MJ, their promotional companies are bumping heads. Why do you think they're bumping heads? Why do you think they're making it so difficult? When a fighter and a promotional company want to fight, Naoya Inoue, to be honest with all of you, he's not hard to work with. He's basically asking you, what do you want? What do you want? He's done that the majority of his career to all the champions that fought him. What do you want? How can I make you happy? Stephen Kubo Fulton, these are my raps. You're complaining about them. These are Japanese rules. But since you want it a different way, here, show me how you want me to wrap my hands. And he knocks him out. Show me how he's doing everything to please everyone in every fight just to get his hands on those belts and to solidify his legacy more and more. He already got all 4 belts. So what you're helping him do now is make title defenses multiple on those 4 world titles that no boxer in history has ever defended 4 belts consecutively for that many times as he's going to do. I don't know where the number is going to end up. I don't know if he's going to stay there much longer in 122. How long does he do this for? But Agmadalia is also a number 1 ranked opponent for the WBA. And ironically, Agmadalia has not submitted any paperwork to be requested to become his mandatory. So when everyone is saying we want to see him fight MJ, why isn't MJ raising his hand saying he wants to fight? They're saying he wants to fight, but the promotional companies and all of them mysteriously are not working along. And then here enters TJ Doheny. Here comes this guy that gets this super fight that basically falls on his lap by default. TJ Doheny got this fight because no one else wanted to take it. Period. No one said they would be ready by September. That's the deadline. So you always got to keep in mind that you're on Naoya Inoue's time. He's the king. He has 4 belts. He shouldn't have to wait for you. What are the benefits of being king if you can't call when you want your shots and the other guy needs to be ready? Who the fuck you think MJ is? Say, oh no, you know what? I can't fight you in September, but give me 2, 3 more months after that. I'll fight you then. You don't call shots. And just like your boy there, Goodman, selling America, talking about, you guys heard it, Naoya Inoue was going to go to Australia to fight Sam Goodman. Ironically, most of the boxing world is giving Naoya Inoue shit for not fighting outside of Japan as often as they would like him to, because he's already fought outside of the Japan in the United States multiple times. But he's just not fighting as often as people would like him to. Ironically, Sam Goodman has never fought anywhere else but Australia. So you're going to criticize Naoya Inoue for rarely fighting out of Japan. But Sam Goodman has never fought anywhere else but Australia. You see, they pick and choose when they want to attack these fighters. And when they're attacking these kind of fighters, is for a reason. The other day, the ESPYs Awards gave Terrence Crawford the Fighter of the Year award. Wait a minute. Didn't they give Fighter of the Year to Naoya Inoue, ESPN? Right? And then ESPN announces it on their platform for Terrence Crawford and congratulating him. So which award is the real one? Which award is bigger than the other one? You can just make up whatever organization and present an award, and it's great. Boxing is truly the Wild Wild West. But I'm not here to kiss anybody's ass. I'm not here to have favoritism, show allegiance or alliances to any boxer or coaches. I'm here to tell the damn truth. And the damn truth is, there is no boxer right now currently doing it better than Naoya Inoue, and that is period. I don't, we're not talking about harder puncher. We're not talking about opinions or opponents. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about your boxing record, what you're doing at work. How active do you come to work, and how many times do you put it on the line to maintain the king at your job? That's what I'm talking about. And there is no active fighter more accomplished than Naoya Inoue in present day. And if that is the truth, then damn it if he isn't the best fighter we have today. The facts are the facts. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has an opinion. Anyone can say anything you want. You could talk about Naoya Inoue's next opponent, call him a cherry pick. At this point, he doesn't have anyone else. Who would you like him to fight? And tell him to stand up. Tell him to make himself notable. Share this video to whatever boxer you want or whatever coach you think you could send it to, and have him come here and tell me to my face that they try to get that Naoya Inoue smoke, and prove it. Lies are lies, bro. The lies will be exposed, bro. Enough is enough. With everyone calling every other guy a cherry pick, because if the other guy across from him is not fucking Superman, then it's got to be a cherry pick. Listen, Naoya Inoue needs to stay active. He does not want to slow down. And if this is the kind of fighter he has to take until they build that guy up, now it's being reported he got a broken hand, in which in actuality, I'm just going to come out and say it. Neither TJ Doheny nor Sam Goodman are going to do anything to Naoya Inoue anyway. So if we were keeping it funky, I bet you if you put him in the ring with that guy, both of them at the exact same time, he'd probably whoop both their asses. Sam Goodman does not have the record or the opponents on his record to convince me that all of a sudden, after fighting the number 122 guy in the world, oh yeah, my next fight, I'm not just going to fight a world champion. I'm not going to even fight a unified world champion. I'm going to fight an undisputed world champion on an 18 knockout streak, 21 consecutive world titles, 4 weight divisions, and I'm going to convince you I'm going to wipe him down. Bro, you can say whatever the fuck you want out your mouth. You could say whatever you want, but I know what Sam Goodman and his promotional company are doing. Mysteriously, Sam Goodman's hand is going to be broken to the degree he will not be able to fight Naoya Inoue. Mark my fucking words, right? They're going to try to wait Naoya Inoue out the weight division, hoping that he makes that jump and moves up to 126. If they can just wait a little bit longer, they can bypass the monster. He'll move up to 126. The belt will become vacant. He's next man in line for 2 belts. He can pick whatever way he wants to go. That's Sam Goodman's way. That's exactly what his management's going to do. And that is exactly what Goodman's going to do. Because though Goodman is a good boxer, he has to be honest with himself. He hasn't even fought anyone or nowhere near the kind of champions Naoya Inoue had not just beat, but knocked out. Not just beat, but not. I would like to see Sam Goodman, right, beat Stephen Kubo Fulton. I would like to see that happen. Shit, I would like to see Sam Goodman fucking beat Marlon Tapales or MJ. But this is how sports is right now, where that if a guy is forced to take a fight, and Naoya Inoue could have passed on TJ Doheny, but that means that he also would have passed on that September date, because apparently TJ Doheny is a former world champion. At least he is coming off a few victory wins. He is up there in age, and he did lose to Sam Goodman. So the quality of opponent by an eye test is not the most spectacular. But I tell you what, take TJ Doheny away from the equation. Just take him away from the equation. Who the fuck you want him to fight? Go, please. Entertain me. Give me a name and an opponent that was going to be ready in September. Not this made up. Don't say Bam Bam Rodriguez. Don't say fucking Tank Davis. No Fantasy Island. I'm talking about if we're going to solve this case and figure out how the fuck we got here, then let's play it out. Who was he going to fight? It's already apparent that MJ wasn't going to be ready for the September date. He already said it. So he was asking Naoya in a way like to wait on. That's not going to fucking happen, bro. It's just another way of saying you're not going to want to fight him. MJ? MJ don't want the smoke, bro. Come on, guys. Please. It's smoking mirrors. That's smoking mirrors with MJ. Please believe it. If he wanted it, the fight was there. It was right there for him. He's the WBH mandatory. All Ahmadalia got to do is file the paperwork. And bingo, Bob Arum can't say no. No one, because now they'll strip Naoya Inoue from the belt. Bob Arum can't protect him. He would have to go by the rules of the sanctioning body. The fucking boxing promoters don't fucking control boxing. You know, they make moves within boxing. They don't control boxing. Boxing is a sport that is governed by the sanctioning bodies. These belts, they have a ranking system. That's all MJ got to do is what I'm telling you. Stop saying that MJ wanted this fight or that you want to see him fighting Naoya Inoue when MJ is speaking louder than words. If TJ Doheny got the fight over MJ, that tells me everything right there. There's no way in the world TJ Doheny's supposed to be beating out MJ for that fight. That means that MJ does not want it. Because this Naoya Inoue train has proven he only fights killers, champions, number one opponents. That's it. His last 10 fights have been for 2 belts or more. Naoya Inoue's last 10 fights has been for at in the fight consistently in a row. Now one fight has been for 1 belt. It's been for 2 belts or more. It was either this fight for 2 belts, this fight for 2 belts, this fight for 3 belts, this fight for 4, this fight for 4, like that. But his last 10 fight has not been for just 1 belt. So keep that in mind. When it's hard enough in boxing as it is just to achieve 1 world title, this man's last 10 fights have been for 2 or better. It's ridiculous. And you're going to try to tell me and sit here and tell me, listen, we're talking about the greatest boxing talent we have today. And even Bruce Carrington was criticized for getting a lot of shit about talking that he could beat Naoya Inoue and that his career isn't based off of Naoya Inoue. Look how far Naoya Inoue's name and his presence carries. Already threatening opponents in the above weight division because they can see the tsunami that's coming. Bruce, whether you want it or not, whether you were saying it a little bit, you allow those people that put that microphone in front of your face for you to run your mouth like that, Bruce. Right? And he came to your fight and watched you. You understand? So that in itself shows that Naoya Inoue has him on his radar. You see what I'm saying? So Naoya Inoue is ducking Batman. What's up, Lionheart? What's up, Bam Bam? What's up, chat? How y'all doing out there? MJ, they say, hi. He laughs, huh? Oh, yeah. Bruce is funny. He gotta try to get the easy WBO belt. Casimera to to shut him up. We would love to see that. That Casimera just to shut him up fight. Unfortunately, I don't think it's due in part to Naoya Inoue. We all know that. That fight is not happening because of Casimera's life's decisions outside of the sport of boxing. And that's why we won't get that fight. Unfortunately, like I talked a lot of shit too back in defense of Naoya anyway to Casimera fans and to Casimera, but he's a good fighter. Casimera is that dude. Like when it comes to like tough men, it would have been nice to see Naoya in a way really like put the Beats by Dre on him. I just think that Casimera was in over his head, but he needed to be taught a lesson. He was the type of fighter that I don't think he ever experienced the fighter on quite on the level of Naoya Inoue. And just like many of Naoya Inoue's opponents leading into the fight, most of them have never been knocked out. Some were undefeated, some were world champions, and some were on impressive winning streaks. And going into the fight against Naoya Inoue, they saw this little Japanese man, nothing really too impressive. But when they shared the square circle with him, they quickly realized that the Japanese man was the real deal. And by then, it was too late. They're in the ring with him, and they realized they were outmatched, outgunned, and Naoya Inoue put them away. Impressively enough, throughout the debates of boxing or throughout who's the best fighters in the world and current fighters, Shakur Stevenson is under a lot of scrutiny for not having those kinds of performances. And some people are coming to his aid in the defense that he did put up a boxing clinic on the guy, right? And the median, right? But fan pleasing performances, not exactly. When you have fighters such as Terrence Crawford and Tank Davis that are on an impressive knockout streak. And here comes this 5'5" Japanese fighter known as the Monster, and he seems to be bringing the sport of boxing to a different level. He is truly showing the sport of boxing with hard work and dedication you can achieve and reach such goals. Mr. Terrence Crawford for the American is moving up to the 154-pound where he will fight Israel for the WBA world title, 154 pounds. And they are adding the WBO vacant 154-pound title will also be on the line. And Terrence Crawford is successful in that fight. He has the opportunity of obtaining two world titles in one night at the 154-pound weight division. Not a bad start. Naoya Inoue is still at the 122. And when many fans believe and they are waiting for the announcement to see if he will make that decision of moving at 26 pounds from 122 pounds. But Naoya Inoue is truly showing the boxing world that he understands that there is levels to this boxing game and you cannot just rush things. You have to do it the right way. The only man that can answer that question is Naoya Inoue. He is the only man that knows when his body and himself is going to feel ready, good enough to move up to the 126-pound weight division. Time will tell. By entering that division will be an exciting moment in boxing. He will then be entering his fifth weight division that will put him in categories, in rooms with legends of men that have five weight divisions or better. It is not an easy feat to reach. Floyd Mayweather has five weight divisions, and Naoya Inoue would be entering his fifth. So, the world can't wait for fights like that. Who's next for Naoya Inoue when TJ Doheny has to step in to save the day because no one else is raising their hand. There is no other fighter that said, hey, I'll fight him. But you got to be somebody. Not no top guys or you notice want to fight him. Why? Because the whole world knows he's eventually going to move up. Don't mess up your opportunity by fighting him, falling down in the rankings, and someone else passing you at the vacated belts that he will soon vacate. These guys are seeing it's just a matter of time. One or more, two more fights. Naoya Inoue is going to move up. We don't got to fight him. Let him move up, vacate those belts, and we'll go after the belts. That's what they're all doing. Every last one of them are scared to the fucking death. And yet, they're going to call out this Japanese guy like he's cherry picking, like he's the one that's scared to fight these guys. No, 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 no. I will not allow you guys to call this guy that when this guy is showing by his record on paper, whenever Naoya Inoue wants a tune-up fight, who does he go out and pick? A world champion. Whenever Naoya Inoue wants to move up, not one, but two weight divisions and go into a next fight, who's he pick? A world champion. You're not going to tell me and sit here and convince me that a man that's jumped up four weight divisions has got all the belts at 118, got all the belts at 122, that kind of guy is cherry picking or ducking who? Who the fuck is Naoya Inoue scared of? Show me him. Blur out his name. He's not scared of these dudes, bro. Let's just face it. We need to beat him. He is the best. We need to figure out Who's going to fucking present a challenge? Where is it going to come from? Come on, anywhere, any nation, Mexico, come on, fucking Mexico, United States, Puerto Rico, Santo Domingo. Let's fucking go, bro. You guys need to fucking bring it to Japan, man. They're winning right now again on all fucking belts, bro. And in America, we need to step up, bro. We need some bantamweight to come down and fight him. At 126, he's got to run into trouble. Naoya Inoue, he's got to run into some trouble over there, bro. Somebody's got to test him. I just need to see him tested, bro. I need to see him in that knockdown, dragged out fight. I need somebody across from him just to be as fast and speed. I need him to shut the fucking world up, bro. And the only way he's gonna prove that if his dancing partner shows up. And then that's when finally, like, I think they'll be like, okay, because it's gonna be ridiculous, his kind of record. And what he's saying is that he wants to move up to the 130s and like in his career right around there. A lot of talks, a lot of me and my buddies, we talked on other channels, and we go over the fantasy of what if he goes up to 135? Could he do it? And we've talked about this several times about the body mass. Him being 5'5", Gervonta Davis is 5'5", Pitbull Cruz is 5'4", and he's the 140-pound champion. He's 5'4". Naoya Inoue is actually taller than him. So it just depends. I don't know how his frame. He could be maxing out right here. He could just be that kind of 5'5" that is really like pushing the limits of his body right now, getting his body, his muscle structure to move and operate, and for him to feel like himself at the higher weight division. The reason why he's not rushing the move is because he's making sure that you beat him at his best. He doesn't want to feel like he was rushed to the next adjacent weight division because of a belt, because of money. He wants to make it because he made the decision to move up and that he felt like he was ready to move up. So that's where the move has to come from. It has to come from him. And he's actually doing it right. What's up, chat? How y'all doing out there? Kepto, what's up? Who at Feather is as fast as Naoya Inoue is as fast. Stephen Kubo Fulton was just as fast. Well, Naoya Inoue was a little bit faster than him, but Stephen Kubo Fulton was fast. Donaire was just as fast. Uh there was that Japanese kid that fought Naoya Inoue. What was his name? He was just as fast. He went 10 rounds with Naoya Inoue. He was banging with Naoya Inoue, right? The problem is that some of these guys can be just as fast as him, but he takes their speed away from them. By hitting them with big shots and hard shots, it makes them shell up. It seems like most of these guys go into this fight thinking that they're gonna like jab and fight like they normally fight against anybody else. In their head, going into these fights, like I was talking about it, they were these guys that superior fighters, undefeated fighters, world champions, never been knocked out. These guys went into this fight against Naoya Inoue, and Stevie Kubo Fulton had all the confidence in the world. What happened was he realized in the ring, Stephen Kubo Fulton was fast, strong, a smart boxer, good footwork, and that got all shut down. And soon in the fight, he was trying just to survive and put on a front that he wanted to engage. He didn't want to exchange punches no more in the fight. He was doing boxing stuff, but he saw by like the fifth round and going into the sixth that I think Fulton had realized, from the first round, he realized he was like, oh shit, Naoya Inoue is the truth. By the second round, he was like, oh shit, I think I'm outgunned. By the third round, he was trying to will himself back into the fight. By the fourth round, Naoya Inoue took the fight out of him. By the fifth round, Stephen Kubo Fulton was just reacting. By the sixth round, Naoya Inoue had complete control of the fight, and it was just a matter of time. That's it. He broke him down 7 rounds. Like, let me tell you something right now. For Stephen Kubo Fulton to be an undefeated fighter, never been knocked out, a unified world champion. He had 2 world titles, not one, he had 2. For him to come in that fight against Naoya Inoue and not win 1 round, he didn't win 1 round. That's a shutout. You didn't win any part of that fight. And then on top of it, he knocked you out for the first time in your career. And he moved up to your weight division. So he was the smaller guy. According to many boxing analytics, Scooter was just going to be too big for the Japanese dude. The Japanese dude was moving up in weight, and this is it. He's going to suffer his first loss. He was a hype job, and Stephen Kubo Fulton was going to expose him. Y'all remember this, right? The smaller guy beat the shit out of this dude. That Stephen Kubo Fulton didn't win 1 round, and then he got knocked out. Brutally, I might add, too. It was a brutal knockout. That's the problem. And now these fighters, the cat is out of the bag. Yeah, they want to sell it to you like it's a cherry pick. You know why they're doing this? You know why these other YouTube channels are trying to feed you the narrative that this is a cherry pick? You know why? For the future. For the future. For the argument in the future. I'm calling it right now here at Round One Sports Talk. Share this video, share this part of the video, because this is what's going to happen. By calling TJ Doheny a cherry pick for Naoya Inoue, when Terrence Crawford beats Israel at 154, his inactivity for only fighting 1 time a year, they're going to argue that he's a better fighter because Naoya Inoue is picking cherry picks and that his opponents are lackluster. And by him obtaining 2 belts, it obviously makes him the clear-cut winner for the best fighter in the world. Mark my words. It's for an argument later in the future. That's what they're doing. They're going to use this fight. They're going to put this in your head. So when they talk about it, the word cherry pick pops up in your memory and says, yeah, he was cherry picking. Bullshit. It's not a cherry pick when the guy volunteered. And the first guy that opened his mouth, they said, yup, you got the fight. That's not a cherry pick. It's not a cherry pick when Naoya Inoue gets to pick the guy he wants to fight. They gave him a list of people. Naoya Inoue said no bums from the top 5 and up. The only name that was on, it was his. And so if you only got from one name to pick from, who else are you going to pick? This is for a future argument down the road. That's what they're going to try to dress it up as. That's where they're attacking him. And I can turn around and say, well, at least TJ Doheny was a former world champion. Your guys didn't even fight guys on his level. None of those guys were former world champions. Yeah. So, and he's coming off wins. No layoffs and shit. Activity. Yeah, so they can say what they want about him, but it is what it is. Naoya Inoue is going to continue to do Naoya Inoue shit. He's in a situation where it's going to be tough to get opponents. And when you have to just take anyone that's willing to fight you, that's exactly what's going on. He's taking whoever would that took the fight. And then people can turn around and say this is a cherry pick, but how's it a cherry pick when, like I said, he's the only guy that's going to fight him. So, and the only guy that's coming off wins that's a former world champion and that fought in Japan. TJ Doheny has fought in Japan. Plus, it's an in-house fight. The fight wasn't going to be easy. It wasn't going to be hard to make. The fans also know TJ Doheny for fighting out in Japan. So he has a little bit of buzz out there too. So in those aspects, him fighting in Japan, being familiar with the Japanese people, coming off a couple wins, being a former world champion, it probably lined him up better than some other names, and the guys that were ready. So out of all the guys that were ready and that were ready to fight on that September date in Tokyo, he said he would be ready. So thank you, TJ, for taking the fight. Thank you for stepping up and not allowing us to get a Naoya Inoue fight in. Because I get excited when Naoya Inoue fights. And if no one else stepped up, then who the fuck was he gonna fight in September? You see what I'm saying? So thank you, TJ, for taking this fight. Um, I think TJ's gonna go out there. He's gonna fight his heart out. I believe that his best years are behind him. I don't think that TJ is gonna really unfortunately, put up a big fight. I mean, he could surprise the world just like Luis Pantera Nari and TJ. I will give you that. I'll give you a puncher's chance. I'm not gonna shit on you, like that. I know that the best part of your career is behind you. I gotta be honest. I'm not gonna tell the fans otherwise. I think that Naoya Inoue is gonna finish him early. I think it's not going to the scorecards or anywhere near those later rounds. Um, and then it would line us up that what we would think that would be the Goodman fight. Now, last week he had that fight in which I said it was a fucking waste of time. It was a complete waste of time. Because once I found out who he was fighting, the fight didn't make sense for me. If you were going to get a tune-up fight, at least you should have got a top guy that was going to prepare you for the best guy. You got to fight one of the top guys because you're about to fight the world's best fighter. So that's what kind of test you're going to have in front of you. Instead, you opted to fight this guy and you broke your hand. So, I think Naoya Inoue's management will try to push him again because they're going to say to him, look, you wanted to stay at 122. You're running out of opponents. Now, like, who's left at the 122 that we feel like you should fight? They're going to try to talk him into moving up to 126 because he's going to hit this wall. He's going to hit this wall where his promotional company, Top Rank, is going to feel like the last guys on the list, their names are just not big enough. And Naoya Inoue is 31 years old. Okay, so he's definitely, um, he's already at going this way at the end of his career. He's at the back end of his career. So it's important to market him right from here on in. But it's also important to get him proper dancing partners. This gimmick of having him come to United States. Oh, fighting United States. Like people said something. That's just a ridiculous statement. Okay, he can fight the United States. Tell me who's going to fight him. go. You guys act like his level of competition changes over everybody in his weight division becomes American or something. No, they're gonna be the same guys. Even if he comes to America, he has the same problem. Where are you gonna get these guys to fight him with these big names? It's ridiculous when they say that because the status of his dominance doesn't change. TJ Doheny would be fighting him in America rather than Japan. Tell me you want to see that fight in America? Or you want to wait till he comes to America for a big fight, like Tank Davis fight or something, like Loma or some shit like that. Because Loma can, if he lose, look, if he loses to Tank, does Loma retire? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe Loma fucking digs deep and loses those extra poundage that he's carrying around extra because Loma was never a natural 135 pounder. He doesn't even belong in that weight division. 126, 130 is Loma's division. Loma would have reigned supreme there. There just wasn't no big names at 126. When he got to 130, everybody started jumping up. Loma went with him like that. So, look, and that's why he moved up because of the big money fights. And he was in a weight division he should have never been in. Had he fought at his natural weight division and can make that kind of money, Loma would have never left 126, 130. He would have been a force to be reckoned with. He would probably have all four belts. Probably, yeah. But he just wasn't going to get that superstar household name that he desired because the fighters weren't there. That's what Naoya Inoue is struggling with right now. That is exactly what he's struggling with. It's just that he doesn't have these fighters, household name kind of guys that he can present or even attempt to bring that fight to America because he doesn't have that dancing partner. Though all you guys want to see him fight MJ who? And I'm being for real. MJ who? Akmadalia who? Ask your normal American who the fuck MJ is, Akmadalia. And they'll be like, MJ, bro, I got J's on my feet. No, not that MJ. Oh, Billie Jean. No, not that MJ. What MJ then? MJ Akmadalia. Who the fuck is Akmadalia? They're going to say. Akmadalia who? He ain't no household name. He's a good fighter, yes. And as good fighters standpoint, yeah, I would like to see that fight. But financial standpoint, who the fuck is that? You know what I mean? So that's where Naoya Inoue is at. He's really gonna have to put himself in a situation where that maybe he might just have to take a chance. Entering his older years, 31, 32, 33. Uh just, you're not gonna find those fighters at 122 you desire. And at 126, it's like this. Just might be able to pull it off at 126. Just maybe. Just maybe. You know? What's up, chat? MJ's Tapali's son. Sam Goodman, who? That's a school, a school. Yo, you guys are crazy. 55 in the chat and only 23 likes. Come on, guys, get them likes up. Let's smash that like button for me. Show your support for the channel. And after he pushes the mandatory for being Naoya to Matchroom card in Wembley, Naoya just said, fuck you. Yo, is the problem is that Sam Goodman doesn't call any shots. Being a mandatory to your belt doesn't mean that you get to be a shot caller. Who the fuck are you, Sam Goodman, to tell the world that Naoya Inoue was gonna fight you in Wembley Stadium and trying to sell it to him? Because Sam Goodman is afraid to fight anywhere else. He's only fought in fucking Australia. He ain't fought nowhere else. At least we can say for Naoya Inoue that he's ventured out from Japan. He has what, 3, 4 fights out of Japan? Well, how many is it? What was it? What was the number? I can look that shit up right fucking now, bro. And you know what? I will. Let's just bring it up on Box Records. We'll just bring up his whole entire record. Facts are facts. What's on paper? You know, you can't deny 100% facts. I mean, you could try to dispute it. You could try to spin it, but the truth is the truth. There's just no way around it. So why don't we look at what the truth says? Okay, Kamagari Hall in Japan. He started off his fighting career at 108. Japan, 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 Japan. All his early fights, Japan. Okay, here we go. The truth. This is the truth. He fought Antonio Narvaez, right? And the Carlson Center in United States of America, in that hub place, United States. That's one. He fought in Britain. He fought in Britain. He fought in the SE um um what's that? Hydrox glad glav Glasgow. I don't know what the fuck that shit. Oh shit. Oh yeah. That was in that World Series of Boxing. That's when he fought Emmanuel Rodriguez. That's why he fought in Great Britain when he competed in the World Series of Boxing. Yeah. Okay. And then he fought Jason Maloney. No fucking way, bro. No fucking way. Why did I think that he fought Jason Maloney in New York City in Madison Square Garden? Remember how they had like that corona epidemic and they got it's saying here. Why did I think he fought him in New York City this whole time? It's saying here he fought him at the MGM Grand Las Vegas. He fought Jason Maloney. And then he fought Desmond Martinez and the Virgins Hotel Las Vegas. So he fought in Las Vegas twice. That's what that's saying right there. I could have sworn he fought him in New York City, bro. I gotta look that shit up again, bro. That's crazy. If it's saying it right there, it's saying it. So he fought twice in Las Vegas. He fought in the MGM Grand, which is probably the biggest you can get, right? What's up, Rob? Thank you for the donation. The 5 spot, my brother from another mother. How you doing? So those are the facts. Now, Oya Inoue has fought 3 times in America and 1 in Britain. And people are like, no, he needs to fight in America. He fought in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. Right? It's right there. I don't know what the fuck y'all want then. So, and then after that, all his fights from there on have been in Japan. His last one was in the Tokyo Arena, Japan, 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 Japan. Yeah, the last person he fought in the United States of America was Desmond Marinas, and he fought him in Las Vegas and that hotel. Yes, and that's the truth. There it is, right there, black and white. Oh no, he needs to fight in America. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. That says 3 times right there. Nah, you see, in a Naoya Inoue fight, judges are never needed. You know, we don't need judges around here. Naoya Inoue fight, he tells the judges and the referee to take 5. Your services will not be needed. Not for tonight. Yeah, McDonald in UK. Yep. 3 in the UK, 1 in Scotland. Yeah, and that was in Mark, and that was in the World Series of Boxing when he fought Emmanuel Rodriguez, and that was a big event. And then they finalized the match, the last match with Donaire in Japan for that World Series of Boxing. He ended up fighting Donaire in Japan, right? Yeah, he fought Donaire. I'm pretty sure he fought, yeah, in Japan, and the super that arena. And he fought Paul Butler in the same place, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. So there you have it. There you have it right there. So now we are in a way, look, from a lot of things that you're going to hear from him, I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of YouTube channels that are going to protect their favorite fighters. There are a lot of YouTube channel that are going to be biased towards him because he's just not an American fighter. Well, here at Round One Sports Talk, we are a fan of all fighters. I respect warriors, gladiators, and the men and women that lace it up to do it. I love the sweet science and I love breaking down boxing. I'm a no bullshit, straight shooter type of guy. And if he is who he is, I'm going to call him for what he is. But at the same time, I love competition. And I'm just waiting for that guy to come around the corner and give Naoya Inoue the fight he so desperately wants. Naoya Inoue, if he's anything like me, in my vision of how I view fighters and how I would view myself if I was winning like Naoya Inoue, and if I was ever a decorated champion the way he would be, I would be on a quest to find my equal. I would be bored already by the men that they put in front of me. Even that little scare that Naoya Inoue experienced against Luis Pantera Nari, it made him more alert, but he was never worried in the fight. No, he wasn't. I would search for my equal. And every time I look in the ring and I look across that square circle, I'm going to ask myself that one question. Are you the one? And I'm going to try to beat the shit out of you because you're going to have to earn that. And Naoya Inoue is desperately looking for his equal, someone to step up and challenge him the way on his level. You know, will it be Bruce Carrington in the future, Tank Davis, or Lomachenko? Will it be a relatively unknown upcoming prospect coming throughout the divisions, fairly under the radar, yet unknown, but training every day, looking at Naoya Inoue's poster on the wall? One day glamoring over one day a possibility of sharing the square circle with him or challenging him for his titles and being that man to be the first person to ever defeat him. Is he out there? Is he out there training, working hard? Time will tell. Time will tell. Let me answer some of your questions here. Espinoza, that'll be a great, interesting fight. If Espinoza still is the world champion, which I believe he will be, Espinoza just off one fucking victory against Robersi, I gotta admit, you could say what you want about that guy he fought. That guy was ranked number 2. Roberts, you know, Espinoza didn't take no tomato can. You know what I'm saying? He went out there and fought the number 2 ranked opponent. And just his next fight, he truly fought like he believes in himself as a champion, Espinoza. The way how comfortable he looked, he fought like a man that knows who he is, a world champion. In just one fight, his first title defense, I thought maybe he would be still a little nervous, learning how to adapt to be a champion, knowing what it takes to be a champion. And in those moments, a champion can fuck around and fuck up the bag and lose the belt and say in his head, if he had to do it over, he would do it better, like when the Destroy Ruiz beat Anthony Joshua, and then he went back quick to that rematch and lost. To this day, Ruiz kicks himself in his ass because of that. Because he didn't learn how to be a champion. You got to defend that shit now. Espinoza, he embraced the champion's role. He's fighting like he is the champion. And he was fighting fucking with confidence in that fight. And it showed. For as long and as tall as he is, it's easy to sit here in my chair and dissect the fighters and stuff, but that must be fucking frightening. Fighting a guy like Espinoza at that size. In boxing history, there has never been a man that can pull off that weight and that height like that. 6'1", a bantamweight, super bantamweight. Are you fucking crazy? You're 6'1", 126 pounds. Are you fucking crazy? You shouldn't be able to do that. That should be against fucking, like, that is crazy. Like, what are you smoking crack before the fight? Yo, you shouldn't be able to make that weight at 6'1". My son is 6 feet tall, and he's like this to me, right? I can imagine 6'1", like, and at 126 pounds, you gotta be, man. I think my son weighed 126 pounds when he was born. Yo, bro, that's just fucking ridiculous. So that's gotta be, I don't care what anybody says. That's gotta be a puzzle. That's gotta be a puzzle. You see, when Sebastian Fundora, the Towering Inferno, fought Tim Tszyu, the one thing they thought, like I did, right? And I said this jokingly going into the fight. At least in this fight, you can say that there's not going to be any headbutts, right? Because their heads were like this. There was never going to be any head clashing. I said that. I said, yo, well, at least I know there's not going to be any headbutts in this fight. But instead, he went to duck underneath and he hit him with the bottom of his elbow and he split Tim Tzew's the top of his forehead, which was a freak accident, by the way, right? I've never seen that. I've seen it like a swing gash with the elbow and rip the eye. Yeah, I've seen that 100 fucking thousand times. Never at the angle that Tim Tszyu and Sebastian occurred it. From the bottom while going underneath, he hit him like a UFC elbow like that. That would have never occurred in boxing. Like, it would have went this way, I thought, like that, or it would have split his eye, not on the top the way it was. It was just a crazy situation. So when you think about fights like that and that much of a height and reach advantage, that had to been a little nerve wracking for Tim Tszyu. Normally, Tim Tszyu would have beat him. Had it not been for that cut on the forehead, Tim Tszyu beat Sebastian Fedora that night. He couldn't see. He's taking shots he shouldn't be taking. He broke Sebastian's nose. He had to change his fighting style because he felt the fight was slipping away from him. And that was all due in part to the gash on his head. So when you're fighting a guy like Espinoza, being tall, Naoya Inoue has fought tall guys. The Frenchman, you know, McDonald, you know, Jamie McDonald, he was pretty tall himself, long rangy kind of fighters. He fought a few Japanese guys that were pretty tall. Um, uh, so Ryo Aguchi, he was taller than Naoya in a way, fast as fuck, boy too. That was a good fight between those two Japanese dudes. So Naoya Inoue has been in the ring and shared the ring with men like this. Espinoza, you know, Robersi, first of all, Robersi, for 126 pounds, he's big. He's a big 126 pounder. And he's solid and he could hit hard. I think it was an accumulation of punches and that his stamina, his gas tank, uh, let him down. With you being tired and just being peppered with those shots, uh, it'll break you. It'll break you. It wasn't just like one punch where he just, he staggered Roberto. I think that's kind of what started it off. It was a one punch, and he was like boom, and then Roberto just covered, and then it was a sequence of, events that took place after that. So I don't think he's gonna put Naoya Inoue in those situations. One of the best features Naoya Inoue has is his feet, his footwork. It's superior, bro. I've never seen a boxer in my entire life. Even Sugar Ray Leonard was boring in the first 4 or 5 rounds of his fights. He would do a lot of running before he turned into Sugar Ray Leonard, right? If he had his opponent like really outmatched and he saw that, then he would turn into Sugar Ray Leonard. But Sugar Ray Leonard would drag you out into some, and then pa 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 pa, and get on his bike, pa 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 pa, get on his bike like that, right? But he was fucking fast as fuck, man, and accurate, you know. Naoya Inoue has these feet that seem to never be out of place. Now I've tried to go back, and I did this. I actually fucking did this. I was going back and watching like every one of his fight, and I was watching his foot placement for as much as they showed it, because sometimes they would only show like top half of their bodies when I was watching it. And for the most part, I never did actually find a reel or a sequence where that he was out of position. There was a moment in the fucking Stephen Kubo Fulton fight where he threw a 4-piece running combination. He was running while he threw the combination at Stephen Kubo Fulton. Technically, he wasn't in the best positioning, but the running combination was effective. It happened to be effective. So, as far as his feet placement, he has smart feet, quick enough, sharp enough to move angles around Espinoza. The beauty about a fighter such as Naoya Inoue, he has a selection of punches. He has mastered quite a few where he can go into his arsenal. He has a lot of punches he can go out of, where that Espinoza, he's got the jab, the straight 1-2. He's got a pretty decent uppercut he showed in his last fight. It could be pretty sneaky on the inside. And he has volume. Volume. He can throw for days. Okay. So Naoya Inoue, though, for me, okay, you know when we question fighters to see if their power will transition for them, and the way you can find that out with fighters that are moving up in weight is how they perform. When Tank Davis took his little 5'5" frame and went all the way up to 140, it showed. He had his power carried with him, no problem. Did he knock Mario Barrio the fuck out at 140? And did it look beautiful? And did he look good doing it? His his speed, power, everything translated with Tank. Tank's power is not a question. When Terrence Crawford move out throughout the divisions, right? And he's going out. Terrence Crawford is like on a stupid knockout streak himself. It shows his power translates with him. But when Teofimo Lopez moved up, when Devin Haney moves up, when all these other fighters move up, they're not getting these knockouts anymore. Shakur Stevenson was the man at 130, moving up to 135. Where are all these knockouts now? What happened to their power? You see? And you start to realize from the guys that their powers translate and is moving great along throughout the divisions with them versus the guys that are struggling now. That once upon a time were powerful punchers, now moving up to other weight division, they haven't been as spectacular when it comes to the knockout. The one thing I'm no longer questioning with a fighter such as Naoya Inoue, whether or not his power is going to translate with him, it's always going to translate with him. He's going to be just fine. It's whether or not he'll be able to move comfortably in the new weight division like he would want to move. And that's up to him. Bam Rodriguez, perfect. But Bam's two weight divisions down. Will Bam chase him? Bam's a perfect candidate. And if Bam Rodriguez moves up to fight Naoya Inoue, as soon as he gets knocked out by Naoya Inoue, you know what they're going to say? He was too small. That's what they're going to say. When Tank Davis knocked out three-division champ Luis Santa Cruz, which in that fight, Luis Santa Cruz was actually the bigger man. He was taller, his shoulders were wider, everything. But since he moved up, Tank knocks him out. They said, oh, they didn't give Tank no credit. They said, oh, Tank was weight bullying. This guy moved up in weight. Luis Santa Cruz is not really a 130 pounder, 135 pounder, whatever. Forgot what they fought at. And that he was just a smaller guy. Are you fucking crazy? Leo Santa Cruz has never been knocked out. Leo Santa Cruz is a Hall of Famer. Leo Santa Cruz had three divisions by that time. And they never wanted to give Tank Davis credit for that. As soon as Bam Rodriguez moves up to fight Naoya Inoue, Naoya Inoue knocks him out. You know what they're going to say? He was too small. That's what they're going to say. Instead of saying Naoya Inoue was just a better fighter. Bam Rodriguez moved up and lost. Right? What if Bam Rodriguez moved up and won? What if Bam Rodriguez moves up and fucking beats the shit out of Naoya Inoue? Right? Then what they're going to say? You see? That they're going to say, oh, no, now Naoya Inoue is a hype job. Just like any fighter in America that loses just one time. Errol Spence Jr. lost one time to the greatest, arguably the greatest fighter of our generation is for America, Terrence Crawford. And now all of a sudden, Errol Spence Jr. is a fucking hype job, a bum, or this or that. Dude, he only lost one fight. So 99% of everyone else he beat, but he's a bum all of a sudden. See what I'm saying? If Naoya Inoue loses tomorrow, you know what they'll say today? He was a hype job. I've been trying to tell you he's been a hype job this whole time. But all four belts, two separate weight divisions, 21 title run, four divisions. With one fight, they're going to try to convince you that the rest of his work was just tomato cans. 13 world champions he's fought. 13 world champions, man. It's not easy to fucking do, bro. Ah. But the bullshit, you know, where the fuck is my light at? Opinions are like assholes. I always say that. Everyone always has one. Excuse me 1 second. So I'm just waiting to see what happens. I don't know if Sam Goodman is going to fight him, honestly. I'm more on the lines that Sam Goodman's going to bank on the fact that he's going to move up and his opportunity is going to present himself at those belts at 122. Him and his management have seen this, and I think that that's the avenue that they're going to take. The Naoya Inoue train will not stop for no one, and nor should it. Naoya Inoue's career doesn't evolve around everyone else's career and their timeline. It's either you're ready for this opportunity or you're not. I'm giving you an opportunity to change your life. I'm giving you the opportunity to make the most money you've ever made in your entire career. And you mean to tell me that you're not ready? You're not staying in shape in the gym so that if you get that phone call, you could be you could be having that fight right now? And then you're going to try to feed it to me like Naoya Inoue is picking cherry picks. So if he didn't pick TJ Doheny now, who could he have picked? He's running through them all already. All the top guys at 122, guess what? He already went after both champions and the number one mandatory. So far, that's who he's fought. Since entering the 122-pound weight division, Naoya Inoue has fought two undisputed champions and a former world champion in a title defense of defending all four of his belts. If I spoke a little too fast, keep up. That's how this guy is going. Fast as fuck. Okay? And he's like doing remarkable shit. You mean to tell me you entered the new division and you've already fought two undisputed champions, unified all the belts? It's fucking ridiculous, bro. You know, they could say whatever the fuck they want, but there's no one right now in the sport of boxing currently doing it like him. As a matter of fact, there are no more champions except Saul Canelo Alvarez that has four belts. In an era where it seemed like everybody had four belts, take a look around you right now. There are only two men in the sport of boxing that have four belts right now, currently, right now. Usyk doesn't have four belts. Terrence Crawford does not have four belts no more. Jamel Charlos, they're not around no more. The only people that got four belts right now in the sport of boxing is Naoya Inoue and Saul Canelo Alvarez. Look how many people just under a year ago, it seemed like everybody had four belts, four belts, four belts. Look how many of them kept them. And how even fewer of a number defended them. He couldn't run the way he made Cool Boy stood his ground. He couldn't run because anyway cut off all his angles. He had no choice but to stand in the middle. That's due in part to Naoya Inoue's boxing skills. The What's up, guys? Well, I'm trying to break it down in all angles, brother. Thank you for trying to like clear that up with me. That for that the world sees that, you know, when they hear all these stories that Naoya Inoue is ducking or cherry picking, it's not a cherry pick when that's the only guy that took the fight. The only man that said he would be ready for September. Other guys were interested in the fight. Yeah, there were other boxers that said, "Yeah, yo, I'll take that fight." And they said, "Will you be ready by September?" This is nah. I just either fought or I wasn't in the gym, and the deadline is too short, so they had to deny the fight. They also wanted their fighter to be in the best shape or in the best position you're gonna want for this mega kind of fight. You don't want to get this guy on fucking 30-day notice. You don't want to go in with the world's best fighter on 30 days notice. I don't give a fuck how big of the carrot they're dangling in front of you. You also got to think about your career. That's a potential loss. You go down in the ranking, so not every man is quick to want to just be signing up to fight Naoya anyway, because you're also putting up a lot. You go down in the rankings, your opportunity at a belt, shall he vacate and leave? It's right there. Just hide in the shadows a little bit longer and let that monster pass. And that's what most of these guys are doing. Trying to tell you. These guys don't want to fight him, bro. They don't want to fight him. And I think Naoya Inoue has Boo Boo Bruce Carrington on his radar. I think he went to New York. He took a look at him. He took a look at the future. What's what he feels could potentially be that big American fight. So what American fighter do you have for me? You want me to fight in America, so I'm gonna have to fight an American fighter because all other nationalities I fight in my homeland, you guys are giving me shit over it. So I guess in his head he thinks it has to be an American because I guess that's the answer for every American that wants to debate Naoya Inoue's greatness. Oh, he has to fight in America. Motherfucker, fight who? Same guy he can fight in Japan, he can fight in America. It's going to be the same guy. And if he can beat him in Japan, guess what? He's going to beat him in America, bro. Come on, man. This shit is fucking ridiculous, bro. They act like they came to this big conclusion. Oh shit. He has to fight. What? Yo, bro. He's whooping everyone's ass. It doesn't matter. He's not. Yo, Naoya Inoue is him. You ever hear that expression? Mama, here comes that man. That's him. When you see Naoya Inoue, I'll be like, that's him. When I see Terrence Crawford, I say to myself, that's him. Hey, you fucking right. I do. you know, and there's a lot of fighters. I have respect for every single boxer. I wish I could be in there mixing it up with them. But unfortunately, I can't. You know what I mean? But um, I there's a lot of boxers right now. Like, look, the other day, Hatchet fought, and a lot of people gave him criticism for his performance, but I was more on the line that he's young. He's young. Pete Dawson, is a strong fighter. And these are the kind of tests that you want your young fighter to pass early. So just keep it and stay in your lane until the real shit talking needs to come out. and that way you don't get so much criticism, and you don't find yourself fighting the scrutiny of the public and the media and what they want because of this and that, and concentrate on these fights right now till you get to yourself to a level where that you feel like now it's time to talk shit. Now it's time to go after that fight because I'm ready. Knowing that you're not ready and fucking calling out these guys with not even being past the fourth round or having no boxing experience and later rounds championship experience, I should say. Not boxing experience, championship experience, and like he has to recognize these things as a young fighter. But look, there's gonna be a lot of big fights coming up whenever Naoya Inoue fight is announced. I'm excited. And then here we go again with the fucking bullshit from all these other insightful YouTube channels that believe that with each win and each impressive knockout, you'll see them. They're fake as fuck on this Naoya Inoue kid, right? They're like, oh, they get up every morning at the aftermath, after a Naoya Inoue fight. They're mad as hell, right? Weeks leading, they're now he has a hype job. They give him like false praise. Oh no, he's one of the best fighters. He's knocking everybody out, but he's this, he did this, and steroid testing, and hand wraps, and gotta come to America, and blah blah. There's always a but, right? And then after the fight, they're mad, right? Because they have to report what happened. And then you see them like, yeah, I said it. I said Naoya was going to knock this guy out, and they get on the bandwagon until the next fight. And then when the next fight is announced, you see their true colors come out. The same guy that had to bend the knee and give him respect is now calling him a cherry picker. Is now saying that, oh, he ain't fighting this guy, making up videos, describing. You see their true colors come out. They don't really, they never really wanted to support or give Naoya Inoue any praises. He made them bend the knee. He said, you don't gotta like me. I'm just gonna knock your boy out. And he went out there and he destroyed them all. And they couldn't help but say the truth, you know? Not unless you punch drunk. That dude is drunk as fuck. Exactly what his name is what he says. That dude is, I, I can't explain it, and I won't. But yeah, man, Southpaw, trying to tell you, them dudes, they find anything in the world, bro, to try to discredit Naoya Inoue's skills. Yeah, over black fighters. Yeah. It's like ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like a lot of these fucking YouTube channels went into this wholeheartedly, wanting to give praises to black American fighters. And why wouldn't they? Because it's hard to do that. And then they became exactly the same entity that they were fighting against. They thought they were fighting against racism, biasism, and those YouTube channels became exactly that. They became the things they were fighting. Surely but surely, you saw it. First, it starts off with support, their YouTube channel, supporting the fighters. Then they started having favoritism to just American fighters. Then it just became black fighters. And from there, no matter what they do, find a twist for their fighter. Every other fighter is fucking bullshit. And they just became biased. Um, and I could see it as I get more experience covering boxing as the years go on and stuff, and I could see it. Sometimes it, the media wants me to side, and they want to ask my opinion and get me to talk down about one guy, and I'm smart enough always to know to give competition their credit. There's nothing like a rivalry in sports when you can build rivalry like Madonna and then what the fuck was that? Um, you know, um, There were a lot of great boxing rivalries, like Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao. That was kind of like a manufactured rivalry. They didn't really have a rivalry. They kind of like made that one. But there are trilogies and fights that they have, like Dante Wilder and Tyson Fury. It was just a rivalry. It was a one-sided one. It became, but you know, and those are the kind of things that I live for in boxing to watch. So yeah, what's up, Road Rage? Yo, Road Rage, let me know. Did you receive something? What's today? Yeah, today's Monday, right? Yeah, that motherfucker should arrive today. I forgot all about that. Now I gotta go look up the receipt too. Road Rage, let me know, bro. Let me know. Did you receive anything today? Road Rage purchased a round one sports talk uh shirt, and it was the first one. Yo, bro, got it Saturday. Love the shirt. You got it. That's what's up, bro. Yeah. Yo, man. I'm sorry I didn't know your size, whatever. I know those kind of shirts, them expensive, thick ones. They got like the neck is like fucking, makes me feel like but there's the styles of them t-shirts and shit and the quality is great. The print, I feel you on the print, but I signed my name on the bottom. I put it down there and shit, like official and shit. So like, you know, but Road Rage, yo, thank you for showing the love and the support and shit. And I hope you enjoy it, bro. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah, I told you I had you. I was like, yo, check out the mail. And then, if the neighborhood would have caught wind that it was around one sports talk, they would have tried to get you for that. So you might want to have security team, a camera set up in the, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Really? The accent? Yo, that quality was great on his shirt, man. You know what I'm saying? Yo, thank you for showing the love. You out there rocking around one sports talk tee. You know what I'm saying? Yo, don't sell that shit. You know what I mean? Online. Yeah. Yeah. Edward, do you think Naoya speed showed let me I have a tendency of reading these shits out loud and you can get me and say some slick shit. So let me Edwin, do you think now your speed slowed down a bit since his fight with Fulton? Somehow he didn't seem as sharp against both Tapalas and Nari. Collectible. It's a collectible item. Okay. You might want to back that up and put it on your wall. Okay. Now and Tapales are fighting where he didn't need to box. Well, okay. What happened against Marlon Tapales and Luis Pantera Nari, where that you're saying that he didn't look as sharp or as fast? Okay. The reason why that is because in fighting those two fighters, both of them were awkward. They weren't boxing the boxing match as the dance is supposed to be performed. In this time, he had to think a little bit too much. And it wasn't like the fighter was flowing with the punches like that, where that he can be as sharp in speed and bank on the fact that he's going to move like a boxer. Luis Pantera Nari, his movement was wild. So first you gotta touch your opponent. No, you don't use too much speed, power. You just gotta learn how to touch them first. So that and then you can bring the speed and the power. If not, if you don't got your timing and you're not touching him, then you're just gonna throw fast, powerful punches in the air because, and you're not gonna be sure that you're gonna hit him. The one thing that Naoya Inoue is very good at is being accurate, hitting his target. Luis Nares was doing erratic movements, and Marlon Tapales was a lefty that was showing him different styles and looks every round. He was doing different stuff. So Naoya Inoue is not just your typical fighter that is going to not ignore what you're doing. You see, he's going to take the time to see if you really know what you're doing. So now he had to start over. Pap, pap, pap. Not a lot of speed, not a lot of power. And but when you put a boxer in front of him, and it's going to be a boxer where that it's based off speed and boxing now, technique. You see, that's when you'll see the more fast, speed, and powerful version of Naoya Inoue, because now he slipping punches, dipping, bobbing, and weaving. That's what he knows. All this crazy shit going like this, just it's just erratic, spontaneous movements. So he's not as fast, and because he just now he's thinking about shit. He had to figure them out. The one thing was Luis Pantera Nare pressure coming up. He used his footwork, sidestep, check hook, dropped him. Worked off the ropes on the inside, hit him with the uppercut, straight, dropped him. It wasn't a type of fight where he was boxing him in the middle of the ring where that he would show his speed now. Like against Jamie McDonald, against Maloney, against Donaire, against Emmanuel Rodriguez, against countless fighters where you saw that he was fast against Stephen Kubo Fulton. You know what I'm saying? He was fast off the trigger with Stephen Kubo Fulton. Why? Because Stephen Kubo Fulton was athletic and he was boxing. Marlon Tapales was a stumpy dude like this coming in, and he's like, he's being smart. That's all. Yeah, I hope that answered your question, EK. Yeah, I'm not even concerned about his ability of his power and stuff and his speed because I understand that fight wasn't based on that. It wasn't gonna be a weapon. He's not like that fast dude that always relies on his speed, that he only could beat you, with speed. You feel me? Now, yeah, Inoue has other ways of beating you, and he'll settle in on a fight. He'll settle in, you know. So yeah, and with speed guys, with wild guys, the thing is that the speed guy will overextend. He's so fast, the wild guy you might get him in a trap. So he Naoya in a way is not stupid. He's just like, this is not one of those type of fights. That's all. Yeah. Um, Against TJ Doheny, unfortunately, TJ Doheny, after like the second, third round, he has a tendency of leaning in. He has a tendency of leaning. He leans. He's leaning down. I believe that Doheny's downfall is going to be two punches: the uppercut and the body shot, the liver shot for Doheny. I think that's how he's going to knock him out. If I had to guess how I see Naoya Inoue finishing TJ Doheny, it's either going to be an uppercut or a body shot. I mean, with Naoya Inoue, it could be anything. You know what I'm saying? I have no real, I'm just, I'm guessing here. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And I'm letting, not saying that I figured it out. It's going to happen. No. You tell me how you think he's going to finish Doheny, because he's definitely going to finish him. Yeah. This would be a mega upset on epic proportions if TJ Doheny came into Tokyo and walked off with all four of Naoya Inoue's belts at 37 years old. I don't see that happening. I no, no. Now, whether or not who's his next opponent, Sam Goodman, we'll see. Does he move up to 126? We'll see. These are a lot of questions that are yet to be answered. But whenever, and I mean whenever, they sign up to fight Naoya Inoue, you better believe I'm tuning in. Because I love the sweet science. I love boxing. I love the men and women that are doing that at elite levels. And like I said, when you want to watch and learn from some of the best, who do you study? Who do you mirror? You study the best fighters in the world. So I invite you on September when he does go in the ring against TJ Doheny, show him his love and support. Tune in, get up, make it a morning, because he fights at 7 in the morning because of this time frame. And since Naoya Inoue has been fighting at that time, I gotta admit, if you got me waking up and setting an alarm clock, you gotta be an exciting fighter. So, fight fans, listen, let me answer some of y'all questions before I get out of here. You know, Shit, imagine that. That I can't even imagine that TJ Doheny can knock out Naoya Inoue. Actually, I can't. He's like, imagine that. I'm like, actually, I can't. My brain won't let me process too much dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? And that just it came across one of my thoughts, and then that was like, that's really dumb shit. Don't even entertain it. So my brain is programmed not to accept dumb shit. All right. I can't imagine it. Yo, his next press conference will start in an hour. He's getting you ticket prices for yo, that's my man and shit. His brother actually was a world champion. He was a world champion for Massachusetts, Jose Rivera. You can look at him up. El Gallo, Jose Rivera. He had a real world title and he has two interim belts. He has three belts. He did good for us. You know what I'm saying? That's the only guy that I knew that I actually like live with. Like he lived with my brother, and like whenever I would like run around the streets or whatever, and I didn't want to go home and answer to my mom, I would go to my older brother's house. So that's how I called he lived with me because it was my brother's apartment. And Jose Rivera and all of them, they shared one. And I was fortunate enough to see his career, and watch him throughout his career and stuff, and he legitimately won a world title. And that's his older brother, Jose, right there. And they're doing a boxing promotion, and it's cool to see them, try to establish something and reinvent themselves in boxing and find other ways to give back to boxing. So, Road Rage, yes, I give you my stamp of approval. I trust Jose with everything. Like, I know him since I was like 14, 13 years old, bro. No, maybe a little older. I was about 15, 16 when I met him, when I met them dudes. So, you know what I mean? If anybody I'm gonna, you know, give a stamp is my man Jose Rivera. I mean, yeah, Rivera, sorry. I'm thinking about Emmanuel Rodriguez, the boxer. They kind of look alike, right? Yeah. And who knows? I'll probably pop up to that fight myself with Jose. Yeah, I might. Yeah. Now that's interesting. I'm not sure if Naoya Inoue is gonna pick the Tokyo Dome again, because you got to remember one of the reasons why they opened that Tokyo Dome arena for Naoya Inoue is because he had a good dancing partner. Luis Pantera Nare was the villain in that fight for defeating their last Japanese champion. Then after he beat him, he misses weight by 5 pounds, and he tests positive for a banned substance to cut weight. The PE, it was specifically to cut weight. It didn't give him like a performance, you know, um, benefit. It was only to cut weight. So they ran it back and he loses. So he had a good dancing partner to open that Tokyo Dome Arena. A lot of Japanese people wanted revenge, so to speak. You know what I mean? And Japan banned him from ever entering and competing in Japan in a boxing ring. So the fact that they lift up the ban, brought him back, the fight had a storyline, right? I'm not sure if, I mean, he could probably fucking sell that place out by himself at this point in Japan. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't doubt that. They could probably, will he get 50,000 for TJ Doheny? Yo, wait a minute. I just talked about this too. That was one of the qualities. Yeah, Doheny's fought in Japan several times. They know him out there. They just might. They just might open that Tokyo Dome again for Naoya Inoue. Doheny's coming off 2 victories. He's beaten some Japanese fighters out there, former world champion. He's been on posters in Japan before. Japanese people have paid to see TJ Doheny before in Japan. So he's a familiar face. He's not like a fucking whole, household name fighter in Japan, I'm sure. But I'm pretty sure some boxing fans in Japan that are hardcore fans are going to know who he is. So it's possible they could open up that fucking Tokyo Arena again. Matter of fact, did they not officially put it on box record? No, they don't. They haven't announced it on box record yet. Announcing TJ Doheny as Naoya Inoue's next fight. Usually, how I can tell that the fight is like sketched in stone. It's a done deal. It's when every part of it is sealed. Like they might have the first part, the agreement, meaning yes, I'll fight you in September. That's the agreement between Naoya Inoue and TJ Doheny. Now, what you got to get is the venue. You got to get the location, uh, you know, what the time and date. Then you get that. They have, what is it, September. Now they got to look up the dates and there's a little bit more. That's when it becomes finalized and official, the fight. And then they usually, well, when the boxing, yeah, by the time the boxing, they already have all that figured out. That's why they do it. Yeah. I was going to say one thing, but I answered my own question in my head. So, yeah. And that's when it makes it official and they put it on box record. And then you'll be able to see the place, time, and everything, and it'll announce it. Like right here for Luis Pantera Nare, it says it right there. It says Tokyo Dome right on it. So, and then if it's in the Tokyo Dome, it's going to say it. And I believe, why not? If he did it once, he could do it again. Yeah. Yeah, now I believe now, yeah, in a way, can sell out the Tokyo Dome by himself. Yeah, I think he can. I think he can. I know that's a big fucking crowd. 55,000 people, bro. Jesus Christ. What was Tank Davis's attendance? 16,000 in attendance? And that's packed. That's packed. That was packed, right? It was like 16,000 some more. It was like over capacity. But that's all the seats they have there. They don't have 55,000. Have they been 55,000 seats there? He might have been able to do some 55,000 shit. But the ticket sales are different. 100%. In Japan, the first 2 balcony seats could have been $35, $40 tickets. The middle half could have been like $125 tickets. The The inner circle would have been $300 to $500 tickets, and then the ring would have been like that. Javante Tank Davis fight, the ring tickets, the inner circle, 6,000, $7,000, 9,000 for a seat. The middle part is like $5,000 for a seat. And then you got like $1,000 seats, $600 seats, and then you have like, which is like sometimes that one part section, they like $500 seats. Thank you, Road Rage. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah. Yeah, his last three, were in Japan. His last three wins, TJ Doheny. Yes, his last three fights were in Japan and they were wins. And that's what I mean, guys. Yeah, the Japanese people and fighters have seen him win and get his hand elevated in Japan 3 times in recent memory. I understand that his activity wasn't so high, okay, but he does have where that the fans know him. Some fans will know him, is what I'm saying. And whether or not they open up the Tokyo Arena, look, my opinion, you guys asked me a question. I think that Naoya Inoue is there. He did it before. He did it with Lewis. I understand Lewis was a better name, a better dancing partner. Yeah, he was. But you might get 40,000. You might not like pack it to capacity at 55. That's maximum capacity. I think he can fucking fill that place up 40,000. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, And with those 4 belts and shit, you know? Road Rage, you're the fucking man, bro. That's my dude right there. Thank you for showing the love and the support. That money goes to future fights when I'm going out to try to catch these fighters at weigh-ins and stuff. I'm starting to like learn like if you gotta get this shit done, you gotta do it yourself type shit. You know what I mean? So yeah. Thank you, Rob. Thank you for the backup. You know what I mean? But listen, fight fans, it's been an amazing episode. I always like to top it up and I'll answer any of you guys' questions. So just let me know, leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Please don't forget to like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here on Round One Sports Talk. Rob, love you, brother. Peace. Give me a call right after this.